Meeting you, that's been the greatest adventure of my life.
What is up, Chocolatiers? Today we're talking about 100 Nights of Hero, a movie that genuinely surprised me because I went into this thing thinking it's going to be artsy and stylish, sure, but is it going to be a little too weird? Not really layered, but it was really layered, really powerful, and it, had a lot more going for it than I really thought, and for the most part, I really, really enjoyed it, and so let's talk about why I enjoyed it. So the plot is kind of a little convoluted when I started thinking about how to explain it, but it revolves around Cherry, played by Micah Monroe, who lives in this fantasy world created by a god named Kiddo, who believes in freedom to be you, who you are, love who you want, whatever, all that good stuff. So basically just freedom. But Kiddo's father, Birdman, played by Richard E. Grant, within literally like 2 minutes, kind of rewrites the rules of our world. And in doing so, he kind of goes to, very patriarchic heavy mode where women are like forced in submission. Their entire worth is kind of tied to childbearing. And if Cherry doesn't get pregnant within 100 days, she's going to die. And this world is very brutal from that instant that we start seeing, these stakes. Meanwhile, Cherry's husband refuses to sleep with her and pretty much is just fine with letting her die. He's definitely not husband of the year. That's when we enter Manfred, played by Nicholas Galitzine, I think that's how you say his last name, who's playing He-Man next year. I'm very excited. And he steals every scene that he's in this movie. He's the nobleman who gets kicked out of his own castle after his wife cheats on him, and he kind of goes to war, whatever. And his whole vibe is kind of arrogance meets entitlement. And Manfred visits Cherry's husband and processes this absolutely messed up deal because he now has 100 nights to seduce Cherry. If Cherry sleeps with him, she dies for infidelity. If she doesn't sleep with anyone, then she's still going to die because she has not gotten pregnant. So the stakes are very, very high, very powerful, very awful, and very unfair for Cherry. And the movie is deeply about, kind of like power and impossible systems, right? That's when we enter Hero, who I did not know was actually a character in this movie, is Cherry's only support. It's her maid and best friend, played by Emma Corrin, named Hero. And I'll tell you right now, Emma Corrin is so good in this movie. She is the main character. She's the title of this movie. And it really didn't make me think that based on the trailers. So I'm kind of glad to see they did like a little twist right there. And so to protect Cherry from Manfred's advances, she starts dissecting him every night by telling this story. And her story follows three sisters entangled in marriage, heartbreak, survival, and even oppression. And that's where we get Charlie XCX's character of Rosa. I didn't know how she was going to be in this movie. She's really good in that role. Her performance is surprisingly pretty grounded. And I really did like that story within a story structure they try to do. This is where the movie then could have fallen apart, but it really does not. Because you're basically watching two plots at once. You have Cherry and Hero trying to survive in this main story, while Hero's nightly tale about the three sisters is also going on at the same time. And they also kind of enhance one another. They're thematically connected, each dealing with love, loyalty, and betrayal, while also dealing with that oppression because having a world stacked against them. Even though my main explanation probably sounded a little crazy, just sounded a little convoluted, it really makes sense and flows together really well once you watch on the big screen. So Emma Corrin is fantastic here. She's very gentle when she needs to be, very fierce when pushed, and she gives the film its emotional center. Meanwhile, Micah Monroe playing Cherry is really strong. Her character is lonely despite being loved by Hero and stuck inside a system that literally wants her dead. Micah really captures that perfectly of someone who wants to be loved, who wants to be wanted, and doesn't know what that feels like. We got Nicholas Galitzine playing Manfred, who is pretty much cooking in this role. He's very arrogant and pretty much, thinks that he's 100% going to seduce her within 100 days. And then, like I said, once again, reiterating on Charlie XCX, she is better than expected. Her personality with this character of Rosa, while she's not really in the movie a whole lot, she's really good. Kind of gets to my first complaint, though, because Felicity Jones, this movie probably 30 seconds. So is Richard E. Grant, but that one I kind of let it slide. But like Felicity Jones and all this marketing. She's like in this movie for like, I swear, half a minute. But without that, let's talk about the themes. So like I said, this film dives really hard into that patriarchy and control, hunger to be seen and desired, and, kind of surviving under an unfair system and how power can corrupt, twist, and even destroy. And it is 100% very heavy-handed, but I think that it works for the most part. I think that you definitely feel some pacing issues towards the end of the 100 Nights. But with that being said, the third act is fantastic. I think the performances are peak. The emotion's there. It's really impressive. I think the ending sticks to landing. And so with that, I think the 100 Nights of Hero is bold, stylish, and layered as a good fantasy film. Like, it's really fantasy at the end of the day, and that's fun. I know this is based on a graphic novel. I haven't read it, but I definitely want to give it a shot to see if it's exactly like this. It's very weird. It's very creative, and it does, like I said, have something to say. And we live in a world now where if you say something that people don't agree with, or like if that's not how you believe, people just instantly think it's bad. If you don't agree with this and you don't like how heavy-handed it is, you can still enjoy the film for what it is. Like, you don't have to just be like, oh, I'm not going to watch that. It's a good movie. And so with that, I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. I think it is solid. I think that, like I said, it's got a few problems here, there, with some pacing and stuff like that, but nothing that bogs it down to where it's not an enjoyable experience. And with that, comment down below. Let me know if you watched this movie. You probably didn't. It's barely showing where I'm at. They had one showtime at 5 o'clock. I said, I gotta watch that. Had to line up everything so where I could go watch that at 5. So if your theater's like that, you need to get a chance to see it. I really hate that for you, because I really enjoy this movie a lot. Out of everything I watched this weekend, it's probably my second favorite movie this weekend, behind Falcom Hall, which we'll be covering next. So like this, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.